Welcome to Diversity Management and Consulting Limited. Diversity Management and Consulting Limited is a business development service provider which has specialized in building the capacity of institutions and human capital in general. We work with businesses or with individuals to diagnose their problems, either through training needs assessment or through general business diagnosis. And we develop solutions to solve these capacity issues. We have developed several programs, some of them aimed at training business leaders, some aimed at putting in place a group of certified trainers at their disposal. Some of these programs are actually aimed at coaching and mentoring business leaders in order to properly manage their businesses, grow their businesses profitably. Recently, we have developed a program aimed at a category of business persons and also individuals who want to get gainfully employed. This category is in line with one of our main programs, which is the empowerment of the woman and the girl child. The program known as Coach and Mentor a Girl to Thrive is actually meant to coach and mentor girls to be able to transform their challenges into opportunities and grow and why not thrive. This program has three main components. The first component is what we call employability, becoming employable for job seekers. The second component is transform your business idea into a flourishing business. And the third component is what we call the Biz Girls. The Biz Girls are this category of brilliant girls, dynamic and what have you, who have actually started their businesses, which took off and sometimes they started struggling. And what we realized was, with some sort of push, these girls will be able to go far. So the whole context is, how do these categories of girls transform their challenges into opportunities and thrive? What type of challenges do they have? The first type of challenge is linked to just being a woman. Societal biases and sometimes even self-stigmatization. Some are now the challenges which are linked to every member of the society. Sometimes the crisis, which is a general context, like for us now in Cameroon, and sometimes actually it may be even the business environment. So what did we do? We created a pilot and ran this program for 1 month with these three categories of girls. The first category, which is employability, actually saw us just being enablers in the center, working with these girls to reach their best potential. Some of them had difficulties in general in defining their own profile. They could hardly write a CV. They knew they wanted a job, but they could hardly identify what type of job they wanted. They didn't know where even to go to look for these jobs. So we provided them the coaching to be able to define their profiles, to be able to write good CVs, to be able to search for their targeted job, their aspired jobs, and to be able to compare the profile of the aspired jobs to their profile, and then identify the gaps and put in place an action plan to close these gaps so as to feel confident that they can actually apply for this job and get called for an interview. The next thing was, they didn't even know how to go about an interview. One of them, who has done several interviews, actually was lamenting and wondering whether it was because of biases that she never got selected, even though she thought she had done a very good interview. So when we went through the program and coached them on interview tips, she was able to identify her problems, and during the mock interview, that was the closing activity for the program, she was actually able to perform well, and at the end drew lessons learned from where she didn't do well and put in place a program, an action plan to close that gap. The second category, which was actually for the girls who had business ideas, to define and structure their business idea into a business using the business model canvas. These girls were actually able to come out with a good business canvas for their businesses and define each of the components of the business model canvas and project their businesses into the next 1 to 5 years, drew plans, operational plans, and business management plans to be able to pilot their businesses through successful steps until they reach their highest potentials. They were able to design their monitoring and evaluation framework, which will enable them to each time proactively identify what is going wrong in order to put in corrective measures until they hit their target. The next category of girls, whom we call the Biz girls, who had had difficulties in moving their business forward, were able to diagnose their business issues using the business model canvas, component by component, until they could identify the reasons why their businesses were not growing. They now were able to put in place strategic operational plans and business plans for 1 to 5 years, and then also drew a schedule with a calendar and activities to be implemented, and of course with the monitor and evaluation framework which they will use to pilot their projects, their programs, until they hit their target, until they actually get to the highest potential. So within the 1 month, you may say it was a short period, but there were some results. There are testimonials for that. Those who were seeking employment were able to write good CVs. They were able to build their confidence that they could actually apply for jobs and get called for an interview, and why not successfully go through the interviews. Those who had the business ideas, one of them was able to bring out flyers and was able to draw a roadmap on how to attract leads and convert these leads into customers. And then the ones with the businesses, one of them was able to launch her consultancy that she has been struggling with for the last 3 years. And then the other one, who had a struggling business, came out to testify that for the first time she had a full class. She runs a learning center, and she was able to design other bundles for her business in order to diversify, because her business, so far being a seasonal business, had had its own problems. She was able to identify the main problems, which was pricing and diversification. And she came out with a plan, a concrete plan, and a calendar, implementation calendar, to implement the activities meant to render her work program effective, meant to drive her business from struggling to flourishing. So what can we say? We are going now to scale up this pilot and put it at the disposal of the general community, both national and international, because we work mostly online, so we can reach out to any part of the world to present this Coach and Mentor a Girl to Thrive to all the girls and women out there. And what is the next step? Boys ask us, why only girls? What about us? We have similar issues, if not sometimes even worse. So we are going also to generalize, because one of our programs is actually working with the youth to empower them in entrepreneurship. So we're going to also customize this program and put it out for all the youths in general. Visit our website for this and more of our programs, which are meant actually to grow your business and grow your personal development. Thank you.